Hello, welcome to our grade 8 mathematics tutorial. I am your tutor, Kuya Kevs, and the topic that I will going to discuss is all about adding and subtracting similar rational algebraic expressions. So in this topic, ay parehas lang sa pag-compute or pagsosolve ng ating fractions having similar denominators. So before we proceed sa ating topic, magkaroon muna tayo ng short recall on our fractions. So sabi natin, in adding similar fractions, they are the same in denominator. So like for example, 2/3 plus 1/3 is equal to, so sabi natin kapag similar fractions, they are the same in denominator. So just copy the denominator, which is 3. And then 2 plus 1, just add the numerator is equal to 3. After getting the answer, tignan muna natin kung nakasimplify na siya into lowest term. Kung hindi naman siya pwedeng i-reduce into lowest term, then yun na yung final answer. But in this example, 3/3 ay pwede pang i-simplify or i-lowest term since they are the same. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. So the answer in this example is 1. So ganun lang yung pag-solve ng similar fractions. So next, proceed tayo sa ating module. So dyan sa module nyo, sa sinabing dyan, what's in, if there are similar fractions, certainly there are also similar rational algebraic expressions. So kapag may similar fractions, meron din tayong similar rational algebraic expressions. Ano yon? Those are the ones that have the same denominators. So recall adding and subtracting similar fractions. So since nag-recall na tayo kanina, dito sa ating column A, so itong column A natin, kung mapapansin natin ay hindi pa siya simplified into lowest term. And then the answer is found in the column B. So in example number 1, or the question number 1, 2/16. So how are we going to reduce it in lowest term? So we divide by their GCF. So what are the GCF of 2 and 16? So since 2, ito na yung pinakamalit na number dito sa fraction na ito. And then yung 16, since yung 16 is divisible ng 2, so they are both divisible by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then 16 divided by 2 is 8. So the answer is 1/8. So letter B. So how about number 2? So number 2 is 18/24. So again, look for its GCF. So what are the greatest common factor of 18 and 24? It is 6. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. And then 24 divided by 6 is 4. So the answer is 3/4. Letter C. How about number 3? 16/2. Since 16/2 is an example of improper fractions, kung improper fractions, tignan natin kung pwedeng i-simplify. 16/2. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. So the answer is letter A. So how about number 4? Kung napapansin natin yung number 4 natin at 5, ay mayroon silang mga variables. So how are we going to compute the 10py/60? So tignan muna natin yung ating coefficient, which is the 10 and 60. So 10 and 60, what are the GCF of 10 and 60? So since 60 is divisible by 10, so we divided by 10. So 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 py/60 divided by 10 is 6. So alisin na lang natin yung 1 doon. So the answer is py/6. Letter E. How about number 5? So dito naman sa number 5, py squared. over p cube y cube. So, ang gagawin natin dyan is, kukunin natin yung kanilang GCF. So, paano natin kukunin? Again, ano yung ating given? Py squared Py squared over P cube y cube. So, kung kukunin natin yung GCF nila, or i-lowest term natin, yung numerator natin is P times Y times Y. And then, dun naman sa denominator, P cube is P times P times P times Y times Y times Y. So, ang gagawin natin is, magka-cancel tayo. So, P sa numerator, parehas sila sa isa sa denominator. So, cancel natin. And then, yung Y, cancel din natin. So, ang natira is, ano yung natira? Yung natira is 1 over P squared over Y. So, the answer is 1 over P squared over Y. So, it is letter E. So, the answer is, letter F. Next, sa letter B, perform the indicated operations and reduce your answers to lowest term. So, write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. So, dito sa ating number 1, kung mapapansin natin, yung number 1, 2, and 3, they are similar fractions. So, sabi natin kanina, kapag similar fractions, just copy the denominator and add the numerator, then simplify into lowest term. So, 15, copy natin, and then 8 plus 3 is 11 over 15. Since yung 11 and 15, they don't have GCF, so ito na yung ating final answer, 11 over 15. So, how about number 2? So, sa ating number 2, 7 minus 1 is 6. Copy the denominator, which is 24. So, tignan natin yung 6 and 24. So, meron silang GCF. Ano yung GCF nila? 6. Since yung 24 is divisible by 6. So, 6 divided by 6 is 1. And then 24 divided by 6 is 4. So, the answer in number 2 is 1/4. And then number 3. 1/6 minus 5/6 plus 10 over 6 is equal to, so ang gagawin natin, may rule tayo dito. So, kung nare-recall nyo or naalala nyo yung M-dash, which is the multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So, since nauna yung subtraction, unahin natin ito. So, 1/6 minus 5 over 6. So, 1 minus 5 is negative 4 over 6 plus 10 over 6. So, negative 4 plus 10 is positive 6. And then, copy the denominator, which is 6. So, 6 over 6, kapag nireduce natin into lowest term, magiging 1. So, the answer in number 3 is 1. So, the question is, what did you do to reduce the expressions in activity A? So, para may sulat nyo yung answer, paki-post nyo na lang yung ating video. Or paki-ulit na lang or i-previews ninyo para masulat nyo yung aking sinabi. So, what did you do to reduce the expressions in activity A? So, yung activity A natin ito. So, ang ginawa natin ay nag-simplify into lowest term. So, the answer in number 1 is, so ano yung ginawa natin? We divide out by each GCF. And then, we reduce into lowest term until the numerator and denominator do not have GCF or do not reduce anymore. Meaning, until we get its last reduced form. How about number 2? So, what do you call all the groups of fractions in activity B and why? So kung mapapansin natin itong activity B natin, they are a group of similar fractions having the same denominators. And then number 3, arrange the following steps of adding and subtracting similar fractions. Write A, B, C, and D to arrange them. So, ibig sabihin, i-arrange natin kung paano mag-add and subtract ng similar fractions. Numerators are added or subtracted and the common denominator is copied. The fractions are combined into one fraction. Common factor or factors of the numerator and denominator is or are divided out. Or the numerators and denominators are expressed into prime factors. So, ano yung unahin natin? We need to combine into one fractions. So, i-combine muna natin sila. So, the letter A is the second one. So what is the next step? So, the next step after combining them into one fractions, the numerators are added or subtracted and the common denominator is copied. So, ito yung ating next. So, how about the next step or the third step? So, after adding and subtracting the numerators and copying the denominator, we need to have the common factors or factor of the numerator and the denominator, which we are going to divided by out. So, this is the third step. And then the final step is we need to express them into prime factors. Next. So, again, ulitin ko. Kapag hindi na-gets yung aking answer dito sa question 1 and 2, paki-previous na lang yung ating video. So, next. Consider the situation above and supply what is asked in the illustration. Remember that side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus and so on is equal to the distance around the plot. So dito, nag-jump out na ako sa inyong module. So pumunta na ako agad sa doon sa ating what's new. So anong gagawin natin sa number 1? Find the distance around the rectangular plot as illustrated. So sabi natin sa ating formula, which is side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 plus and so on is equal to distance around the plot. So ang gagawin natin para makuha na natin yung distance dito sa number 1 is we need to add all the sides, which is represented by 5x over 3 and then 4x over 3. So the solution in number 1 is, so 5x over 3 plus 5x over 3 plus 4x over 3 plus 4x over 3 is equal to 5x plus 5x is 10x plus 4x is 14x plus 4x is 18x over 3. So dito sa 18x over 3, pwede pa natin siyang i-lowest term. Since the coefficient 18 and 3 having similar or common divisibility, which is 3. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. Just copy the x or the variable x. So the answer is 6x. So how about number 2? Find how long the other side of the plot that is illustrated below. So dito, yung width natin, the value of our width is 2 over 5y and then the length is 7 over 5 over y. And then the other side is 3 over 5 over y and then unknown. So, anong gagawin natin para makuha yung unknown? So, 3, just add them. So, pag-add natin si 3, 5 over y plus x, yung unknown is, gawin natin x is equal to 7 over 5y. Since yung other side is 7 over 5 over y. I mean 7 over 5y. Since they are the same in measure. So, 3x ay 3 over 5y. So para matira si x dito, we need to transpose the 3 over 5y into the right side. So from positive 3 over 5y magiging negative 3 over 5 over y. So natira na lang yung ating x. So x is equal to, we need to subtract them. So 7 minus 3 is 4. And then copy the denominator, which is 5 over y. So the value of our x is 4 over 5y. So kapag i-checking natin, 4 over 5y plus 3 over 5y is equal to 7 over 5y. So next, so sabi natin dito sa inyong question, so hindi ko na nilagay dito sa aking slides yung question. So try pa rin nating sagutan. So what should you call rational algebraic expressions that have the same denominators? So ano daw ang tawag sa rational algebraic expression that have the same denominators? So the answer is similar rational algebraic expressions. And then number 2, how did you answer the item number 1? So paano daw natin nakuha yung answer nito? So ang answer dyan is we just add all the sides. So tama nga lang naman. So pinag-add natin yung ating side. Since nakalagay sa ating formula na side plus side is equal to the distance around the plot. How about number 3? How did you answer the item number 2? So in answering the item number 2, we let the unknown into variable x and then we add them and then transpose natin si 3 over 5y sa kabila, sa right side, and then we subtract the 7 over 5y into 3 over 5y yung transpose natin para makuha natin yung answer na 4 over 5y. And then number 4. Have you recognized the following as used in finding the answers of item 1 and 2? Write yes or no. Numerators are added or subtracted and the common denominator is copied. So the answer is yes. And then the fractions are combined into one fraction. Yes. Common factor or factors of the numerator and denominator is or are divided out. Yes. The numerators and denominators are expressed into prime factors. Yes. So how about number 5? Do you find similarities between the rules of adding and subtracting similar fractions and adding and subtracting similar rational algebraic expressions? The answer is yes. So, magkaparehas lang ang pag-add ng similar fractions into similar rational algebraic fractions. Next, punta tayo sa inyong what is it? So, dito sa inyong module, since nakita ko na pagkahaba-haba yung explanation, so, tuturo ko na lang sa inyo yung basic step. So, sa example number 1, 8p over 3 plus 5p over 3. So, sabi natin kanina, copy the denominator which is 3 and then add the numerator. 8p plus 5p is 13p. So, kung papansinin natin, yung 13 is not divisible by 3. So, the answer is 13p over 3. How about example number 2? So, how about in example number 2, 8x plus 3 over 2 plus 2x minus 7 over 2. So, apply natin yung ating step. Copy the denominator and then combine the numerator. So, 8x plus 3 plus 2x minus 7. And then, anong gagawin na next step? Kung mapapansin natin yung ating numerator, they have the like terms or the common terms. So, the like terms here is the 8x and 2x. So, we need to combine them. So, 8x plus 2x is 10x. And then, the coefficient, which is 3, the constant, which is 3 and negative 7. So, 3 minus 7 is negative 4. So, what is the next step? Yung ating numerator, which is 10x minus 4, ay pwede pa natin siyang i-factor. So, anong tawag sa factor natin gagamitin? It is the factoring the greatest common monomial factor. So, what is the GCMF of 10x minus 4? Ito ay magiging, so ano, 2 times x, 2 times 5x minus 2 over 2. So, paano nangyari yon? Kung i-check natin, 2 times 5x is equal to 10x. And then 2 times negative 2 is equal to negative 4. So, nakuha natin. So, again, the factor of 10x minus 4 is 2 times 5x minus 2. So, ang tawag dito sa factor na ito is greatest common monomial factor. So, what is the next step? Yung constant natin dito na 2 is similar sa ating denominator, or they are both divisible by 2. So, cancel natin 2 and 2. So, the answer is 5x minus 2. So, ganun lang yung pag-solve sa ating example number 2. So, how about an example number 3? X squared plus 4 over 2x plus 4 plus 5x plus 2 over 2x plus 4. So, copy the denominator, 2x plus 4, and then x squared, x squared plus 4 plus 5x plus 2. So, anong gagawin natin dyan? We need to combine. So, i-combine lang natin sila. So, combine natin yung numerator natin. So, kapag kinombine natin yung numerator natin, what is the like terms? So, since si x squared ay wala lang kaparehas, so, just copy. X squared. And then next is the constant term. The linear term, which is 5x. So, since wala siyang kaparehas, copy na lang natin 5x. And then next is the constant term, which is 4 and 2. So, just add 4 plus 2. So, 4 plus 2 is 6. And then over 2x plus 4. So, what is the next step? Kung mapapansin natin, yung ating numerator is in the form of trinomial. So, we need to factor it out. And then, the denominator is 2x plus 4. So, sa tingin nyo, yung ating denominator, pwede ba siyang i-factor? So, pwede. So, ang gagawin natin sa pagpa-factor sa ating denominator is through factoring the common monomial factor or the greatest common monomial factor. So, i-factor natin si x squared plus 5x plus 6. So, paano natin i-factor yan? So, x squared plus 6. So, x times x is x squared. So, ito, x times x is x squared. So, ano yung two numbers na kapag multiply natin is 6 and then kapag pinag-add natin is 5. So, since they are positive, so magiging plus na lang din ito. So again, what are the two numbers na kapag pinag-multiply natin is 6? And then kapag pinag-add is 5. So 3 and 2. So 3 times 2 is 6 and then 3 plus 2 is 5. So ito yung factor ng ating numerator. So try nyo na lang na i-prove. And then the denominator, so what is the factor of our denominator? So the factor of the denominator is 2 times x plus 2. So kapag chinek natin, 2 times x is 2x. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So next, ano yung next step? Kung napapansin nyo, ano yung GCF ng numerator and denominator? Ano yung similarities nila? The x plus 2. So we need to cancel out. X plus 2 and x plus 2. So ang natira, so the final answer is x plus 3 over 2. So this is the answer in example number 3. So next example number 4. So paano naman itong example number 4? X squared minus 2 over x minus 1 minus x over 1 minus x. So kung napapansin natin, yung denominator nila is magkaiba. So how are we going to make it similar? So ang gagawin natin is we need to apply the commutative property. So paano gamitin yung commutative property? So we need to rewrite the 1 minus x into x minus 1. So 1 minus x ay gagawin natin siyang x minus 1. So transpose lang natin siya. Negative x plus 1. So what is the next step? So para magkaparehas sila, we need to factor out the negative 1. So since sabi natin sa ating equation na kapag may isang variable dito, merong isang imaginary 1. So we need to factor out negative 1. So negative 1 times x is negative x. And then paano magiging positive 1 yon? So negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So kapag na-factor na natin, we need now to simplify or we need to use so ano yung gagamitin natin? Itong na-factor out natin na negative 1 times x minus 1 ay i-rewrite natin siya sa ating x over 1 minus x. Palitan natin yung 1 minus x ng negative 1 times x minus 1. So, x over negative 1 times x minus 1. So, para magkaparehas sila, ito doon sa ating x minus 1, we need to, so anong gagawin natin? We need to factor. So, i-factor natin ulit. So, sabi natin dito sa ating variable sa numerator, meron ditong imaginary 1. So, ang gagawin is, we need to divide. So, 1 divided by negative 1 since they are the coefficient or the constant term. So, 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. So, magiging ganito siya. Negative x over x minus 1. So, magkaparehas na sila. Magkaparehas na sila ng denominator. And then, what is the next step? So, kapag nakuha na natin ito, itatabi na natin siya sa ating original equation. So, ang mangyayari ay magiging ganito na siya. So, x squared minus 2 over x minus 1 minus negative x 1 minus, x minus 1. Kasi ito na yung nakuha natin kanina. So, x minus 1. So, burahin na natin ito. Next step, yung negative natin is we need to multiply. So, i-multiply natin itong negative natin dito. So, negative times negative is magiging positive. So, x squared minus 2 over x minus 1. Negative times negative, positive x over x minus 1. So, napansin natin magkaparehas na sila. So, next is combine na natin yung ating numerator. So, kapag kinumbine natin yung ating numerator, magiging ganito na siya. So, x squared minus 2 plus x over x minus 1. So, next is iayos lang natin siya into standard form. So, x squared plus x minus 2 over x minus 1. So, ito na ba yung final answer? So, the answer is no, since the numerator is in trinomial form. So, we need to factor it out. So, we need to get the factor of x squared plus x minus 2. So, paano natin makukuha? So, ifa-factor natin yan. Magiging x. So, ano yung factor niyan? Two numbers na kapag pinag-multiply natin is negative 2 and then kapag pinag-add natin is positive 1. So, ano yung factor nito? Magiging x plus 2 and then negative 1. So, paano yung nangyari? So, positive 2. Positive 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So, sabi natin kapag pinag-multiply is magiging negative 2. And then kapag pinag-add is magiging positive 1. So, 2 plus negative 1 is positive 1. So, nakuha natin yung middle term. So, this is the factor of our numerator over x minus 1. Next step, kung napapansin nyo, meron silang pagkakaparehas sa numerator and denominator, the GCF. So, x minus 1, cancelled natin. So, the answer is, ano yung natira? X plus 2. So, this is the answer in example number 4. So, last example, 2x minus 3 over 3x squared plus x minus 2 minus negative x minus 1 over 3x squared plus x minus 2. So, copy natin ulit si denominator. So, 3x squared plus x minus 2. And then, the numerator is 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3 minus negative x minus 1. So, anong gagawin natin? Ito, i-times natin doon sa sign. Yung negative sign, i-multiply natin. So, 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3, negative 1, ay negative times negative, magiging positive. So, magiging positive x. And then, negative times negative, magiging positive. So, positive 1 over 3x squared plus x minus 2. So, anong gagawin natin sa ating numerator? Combine like terms. So, lagi nating tatandaan na kapag ganyan, we need to combine like terms. Pero pag wala ng like terms, then yun yung answer. So, since dito mayroong like terms, and then the like terms are 2x and x. So 2x plus x is 3x. So 3x, and then the constant term, negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2 over, so ano yan, over yung denominator natin, which is 3x squared plus x minus 2. So since yung denominator natin is in the form of trinomial, so we need to factor. So factor natin si denominator natin. So ano yung factor niya? Ang factor ng ating denominator is 3x minus 2 times x plus 1. So bakit nangyari yan? So paano? Kung check natin, 3x times x is 3x squared. And then 3x times 1 is 3x, negative 2x times x is negative 2x. Combine natin, magiging negative 2x plus 3x, magiging x na lang. So nakuha natin yung middle term. And then, the last term is negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. So nakuha natin. So ito yung factor. So since this is the factor of our denominator, so papalitan na natin ito. Magiging 3x minus 2 times x plus 1. So cancel natin ito since magkaparehas sila. So ang natira ay, sa numerator, ang natira is 1 over x plus 1. So this is the answer. So I hope na intindihan nyo yung ating example 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Kung hindi nyo na gets, pag-previous na lang ulit. And then, proceed na tayo sa ating activity, sa inyong sasagutan sa module. So dito, what's more? So perform the indicated operation and answer the questions that follow. So letter A, 3y over 4 plus 5y over 4. So paano yan? So ang gagawin natin is, i-add lang natin yung numerator. So 3y plus 5y is 8y over 4. So since si 8 and 4 ay divisible ng 4, so we need to divide out by their GCF, which is 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. So the answer is 2y. So number 1, what did you do to the numerator? So anong ginawa natin sa numerator? So anong ginawa natin sa ating numerator? We just add it and copy the denominator. So what did you do to the denominators? Yun nga, kinapi natin. And then number 2, how did you simplify your sum? We simplify our sum by reducing it into lowest term with its GCF. So how about number 2? So pag-add lang natin sila. So 5x minus 3 plus x minus 9 over 6. So combine like terms. So 5x plus x is 6x. 6x, and then negative 3 minus 9 is negative 12 over 6. So ano pa? Anong gagawin ulit? Pa-factor natin si 6x minus 12. So anong factor ng 6x minus 12? 6 times x minus 2 over 6. So cancel natin yung 6. So the answer is x minus 2. So what did you do to the numerators? Again, we add or combine like terms and then copy the denominators. So did you find like terms among collected terms of the numerator? Yes. We add the like terms or combine them. And then number 3, what factoring technique did you apply? So since finactor natin si 6x minus 12, so the factoring technique there is by factoring greatest common monomial factor or the GCMF. And then number 4, how did you simplify your sum? Of course, by looking it in their GCF of both numerator and denominator, then divide it out. Next, letter C. So, anong gagawin sa letter C? Since they are the same in numerator, the denominator, so copy lang natin. So, magiging 2x minus 2. So, how about the numerator? So, i-combine lang natin sila. 2x squared plus x minus 4. Combine like terms. 2x squared. X plus x is 2x minus 4 over 2x minus 2. So, hindi pa ito yung ating final answer. So, meron pa. I-factor muna natin yung ating numerator. So, ano yung factor ng ating numerator? So, the factor of our numerator is x plus 2 times x minus 1. So, finactor out ko lang or nilabas ko lang si 2 para maalis yung ating leading coefficient dito over 2x minus 2. So, factor natin si 2x minus 2, magiging, magiging 2 times x minus 1. So, 2 times x is 2x. And then, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And then, mag-cancel method na tayo. So, 2 cancel, x minus 1x. So, the answer here is x plus 2. So, again, question number 1. What did you do to the numerators? So, we combine them and copy the denominators. So, did you find like terms among the collected terms of the numerator? Yes. What did you do to the terms? We combined them. And then number 3, what factoring techniques did you apply? So, since ginamit natin is factoring trinomial and then factoring greatest common monomial factor. So, yun yung technique. And then number 4, how did you simplify your sum? We reduce it into lowest term and divide out in their GCF. So, sa letter D and letter E, gusto kong kayo na yung magsagot dyan and then I want you to send your answer by messaging us dito sa ating page. So, i-message nyo lang po yung ating page dyan sa letter D and E together with your answer in the questions para ma-check ko kung tama. And then, sa inyong module part ng what I have learned, so I think madali na lang yan. So, kapag nahirapan kayo dyan sa what I have learned, so try nyo lang sagutan and then submit your answer by clicking the message button in our page. Submit nyo lang para ma-check namin. And then sa what I can do, anong gagawin nyo dyan? So, yung yield na 100p plus 200 over p, i-less nyo lang siya sa total ng 10p plus 50 over p and 10p minus 20 over p. Then, yun na yung sagot. So, thank you for listening in our first topic. And then, for the next video, didiscuss ko naman yung adding and subtracting dissimilar rational algebraic expressions.